Okay, I've put the invite in all the groups. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Just give me a- yeah. Who would like to read today?
Yes, I may. I may start.
Yeah. So I don't know where we left off yesterday. It was very confusing. So shall we start from I am writing a memo? Is that
Yeah, yeah.
visible on the screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Then we'll start from here, Suman.
Yeah, should I start?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I am writing a memoir. I started working part time as a nurse so I could focus more on the writing. And I am very happy doing this. I would say I am about halfway through the manuscript. What galvanized me into this was a life altering illness that I went through. I spent months on crutches, not knowing if I would ever walk again. Permanent disability was a real possibility. After you go through something like that, through a quagmire of despair, you let go of a lot and you realize experientially that life is way too short not to follow your passion. So that is what I do these days. As I am growing up, I am learning how important doing what you love is to your happiness. My big goal is to find a way to make money doing what I love. I am 22 and 2 years into the corporate world, but my passion is designing and making jewelry. I am starting small, making custom jewelry for family and friends, and I just launched an online shop at Etsy.com. I have loved designing jewelry for a while, but only recently have I gotten the courage to truly chase after my passion. Although I am nowhere near having a viable business, I hope to eventually. Sometimes it gets frustrating to see that my goal is just a tiny seed right now, but having a vision of what I want it to become keeps me motivated to just go for it without giving up. Working hard for something that you are passionate about is so satisfying and adds so much genuine happiness to life. You might experiment with new recipes, go camping in your 15th state park, plan a 60th birthday party, or watch your favorite team progress to the Super Bowl. I liked writing a novel.
So the writer, no, she has a blog. So whatever people write, no, her blog followers, so that she puts in the small quotes, their
Okay,
experiences.
okay, great,
Uh,
great.
yeah.
Next is make time. Although reading was one of my most important priorities and certainly one of my greatest pleasures, I never really gave it much thought. I wanted to make more time to read more books with more enjoyment. To do so, I gave myself permission to read at whim. Samuel Johnson observed, if we read without inclination, half the mind is employed in fixing the attention. So, there is but one half to be employed on what we read. Science backs this up. When researchers tried to figure out what helped third and fourth graders remember what they read, they found that the students' interest in a passage was far more important than the readability of the passage, 30 times more important. So, between the books I read for happiness research, such as Jonathan Haidt's The Happiness Hypothesis, Anne Lammert's Plan B, and some biographies of Tolstoy, I threw in Leslie Lewis' The Private Life of a Country House, that is 1912 to 1939. Along the same lines, I let myself reread William Makepeace Thackeray's Vanity Fair, Shirley Young's The Heir of Redcliffe, and Laura Ingalls Wilder whenever I had the urge, instead of steering myself to read something new. I have always thought that the best reading is rereading. I pushed myself to keep reading lists. I asked people for recommendations as a side benefit. This turned out to be a relationship booster. People responded warmly when I wrote down their suggestions. On the advice of a fellow member of the children's literature book group, I subscribed to Slightly Foxed, a charming British quarterly that publishes people's essays about their favorite books, and I noted suggestions from the magazine The Weeks, the book lists section. But the main hurdle keeping me from reading more was not the problem of figuring out what to read, but rather having enough time to read. No matter how much time I spent reading, I wanted more. Of course, whenever anyone complains of not having enough time, the first suggestion is always watch less TV, which makes sense. The average American spends between 4 and 5 hours watching TV each day. Do you think we watch too much TV? I asked Jamie. We hardly watch any TV, he said. Well, we do watch some. What do you think, 5 or 6 hours a week? But we only watch what we have TiVoed or from DVD. I don't think we should give up all TV, he said. TV is great if you are not watching in a stupid way. He was right. It was fun to watch a show once the girls were asleep. Watching TV seemed more companionable than reading in the same room. I suppose the fact that we were sharing the same experience made it seem cozier. I did, however, vow to stop reading books that I didn't enjoy. I used to pride myself on finishing every book I started, no longer. And just as I used to make myself finish every book, I used to keep every book I bought, and we had messy stacks on every surface of our house. I culled ruthlessly, and we dropped off several heavy bags of books at a thrift store. I also accepted my idiosyncratic reluctance to read any book or see any play or movie that centers on the theme of unjust accusation. I was never going to be able to force myself to read Oliver Twist, Othello, To Kill a Mockingbird, Atonement, A Passage to India, Burmese Days, Crime and Punishment, or Arthur and George if I could avoid it, and that was okay. Next is forget about results. As I read, I love to take notes, often for no apparent reason. I am always marking up books, making odd lists, gathering examples in strange categories, copying passages. For some reason, I like working on some permanent, undefined research project. I feel compelled to make lists of foreign words that describe concepts that English can't convey. Flaneur, darshan, eudaimonia, Röntgenat, MA, nostalgie the labo, explanation of concepts that I find queerly charged with significance. The Fisher King, The Westerly Road, Croton, Ulyssean Mysteries, Offering of First Fruits, The Hunting of the Wren, The Corn Spirit, Spargamos, The Lord of Misrule, Cargo Cult, Greek Ham, Potlatch, The Golden Ratio, and hundreds of other topics. Note taking takes a lot of time and energy, and I used to discourage this impulse in myself. It seemed pointless and self indulgent. But following this month's resolutions and my first commandment to be Gretchen, I allowed myself to forget about results and take notes guilt free. Perversely, it was only once I said to myself, okay, Gretchen, take all the notes you want. It doesn't matter why. That it occurred to me how useful these notes had been. My first book, Power, Money, Fame, Sex, grew out of a huge body of notes. When I had a chance to write my book, Profane Waste, about the question of why people would choose to destroy their possessions, I was able to pack the book with startling, apt examples because I had been taking notes for no discernible reason for years. Because note taking didn't look like real work to me. It did not register as valuable, even though it was. One thing that makes a passion enjoyable is that you don't have to worry about results. You can strive for triumph, or you can potter around, tinker, explore, without worrying about efficiency or outcomes. Other people may wonder why you have been happy to work on the same old car for years, even though it is not still running. But that does not matter to you. An atmosphere of growth brings great happiness, but at the same time, happiness sometimes also comes when you are free from the pressure to see much growth. That is not surprising. Often, the opposite of a great truth is also true. Anybody else wants to read?
Yeah. I'll just see how much is there. Yeah, just a bit more.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I will go. Yes.
yeah. Yeah. Suman, you're continuing or someone else is there?
Yeah, if anybody wants, then otherwise
Yeah.
I'll go.
I can't see actually who else is there or anyone has put a name.
Yeah,
If
sure,
no
sure.
one, then please go ahead and continue. I guess no one is no mood to
Okay.
read today. Suman, you continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Master a new technology. To me, making books sounded like fun. As a child, I spent countless hours working on my blank books. I had written two horrible novels before I became a professional writer. Throughout my life, I had made mini book projects as gifts for my family and friends. When I thought about the projects that I had loved doing with Aliza, they all involved making books. For example, she and I made a book using some of her bright, elaborate drawings. She dictated a caption for each picture while I typed. Then we cut out the captions, taped them on the pictures, made colors copies, and had the copies spiral bound into a book. It was a fun project to work on, made a wonderful keepsake, supplied a Christmas Hanukkah gift for the grandparents, captured a moment in Aliza's development, and allowed me to throw away the enormous stacks of pictures without a smidgen of guilt. However, I will admit that when I wrote about this project on my blog, one reader was shocked. I can't believe you actually of your daughter's drawings. I would have made the copies as you did. one line remains. Yeah. I would have made the copies as you did, but yes, bound the originals into a scrapbook of sorts. Now, originals can never be duplicated. I must confess to actually gasping when I read this. Recently, I had been intrigued to read about a self publishing site, lulu.com. According to the website, I could print a proper hardback book, complete with dust jacket, for less than $30. I mentioned this to Jamie and he snorted. What would anyone use that for? You mean who has book length documents lying around that they would like to print in book form? I asked. Right. Are you kidding me? I said. If this works, I'll print up a dozen. At last, something to do with all those notes I had been taking without a purpose. For that, for the trial run, I made a book out of the journal I had kept for the first 18 months of Elijah's life. Another book I had written without really noticing it. I sat down at the computer, preparing to put myself in jail to cope with my frustration and my desire to rush. Instead, the whole process took about 20 minutes. When my self published book arrived a few weeks later, it exceeded my wildest expectations. There was my baby journal as a real book. What next? I did a book of my favorite quotations about the nature of biography. I did a book of my favorite uncategorized quotations, and I fantasized about future books. When I finished my research on happiness, I print out a book of my favorite happiness quotations. Maybe I could even include photo illustrations. I, I would make a book of my blog posts. I would print out my novel, Happiness. I would print my one sentence journal. I could even make copies for the girls. Plus, I had so many ideas for great happiness related books. If I could publish them with a real publisher, I would publish them myself. I also learned that through Shutterfly, an online photo service site, I could print a hardback photo album. Figuring out how to do this turned out to be challenging, but eventually I mastered it. And once I was done, I ordered a copy for us and the grandparents, and everyone received a neat, organized book stuffed with photos. Although it was expensive, I reminded myself that not only was I keeping my resolution to master a new technology, I was also keeping my resolutions to make purchases that will further my goals, indulge in a modest splurge, and be a treasure house of happy memories. And once I got through the painful learning curve, it was fun. The novelty and challenge of mastering the technology, though I was maddened with frustration at times, did give me enormous satisfaction. And it gave me a new way to pursue my passion for books. Of all the months so far, September's resolutions had been the most pleasant and easiest to maintain. This showed me once again that I was happier when I accepted my own real likes and dislikes instead of trying to decide what I ought to like. I was happier when I stopped squelching the inclination toward note taking and bookmaking that I had had since childhood and instead embraced them. As Michael de Montaigne observed, the least strained and most natural ways of the soul are the most beautiful. The best occupations are the least forced. I needed to accept my own nature, yet I needed to push myself as well. This seemed contradictory, but in my heart, I knew the difference between lack of interest and fear of failure. I had seen this in March with my blog. Although I had been nervous about launching a blog, I did recognize that running a blog is the kind of thing I would like to do. In fact, I realized my work on my childhood blank books, where I had pulled together interesting information, copied quotations, and matched text with striking images, sounded an awful lot like posting to my blog. Sheesh. In fact, once I realized that, I decided to give up working on my new blank book. I had had fun working on it since May, and I had gotten a nostalgic kick from resuming an activity that had given me so much pleasure in childhood. But I had grown tired of it. My blog had taken its place as an outlet to record the odds and ends I felt compelled to gather. On the very last day of the month, I had an important realization. My fourth splendid truth, Jamie and I were having dinner with a guy we knew slightly. He asked me what I was working on, and after I described the happiness project, he said in polite disagreement that he himself subscribed to John Stuart Mill's view, and he gave the precise quotation from Mill. I was impressed. That is, ask yourself whether you are happy and you cease to be so. I'm repeating the quotation. Ask yourself whether you are happy and you cease to be so. One of the problems of thinking about happiness all the time is that I have developed rather decided views. I wanted to pound the table and yell, no, no, no. Instead, I managed to nod and say in a mild voice, yes, a lot of people take that view. I can't say that I agree. I could see it in the guy's face.
Last.
Yes, I could see it in the guy's face. John Stuart Mill versus Gretchen Rubin. Hmm, who is more likely to be right? But in my experience, at least, thinking about happiness had made me far happier than I was before. And I gave than I was before I gave happiness much consideration. Now, Mill may have been referring to the state of flow identified by the researcher Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in flow. It is true, people are completely absorbed, so focused on their tasks that they forget themselves at the perfect balance of challenge and skill. But I think that Mill-meant or people generally believe that thinking about your happiness makes you self-absorbed. You are not thinking about other people, work, or anything other than your own satisfaction. Or perhaps Mill meant that happiness comes as a consequence of pursuing other goals, such as love and work, and should not be a goal in itself. Of course, it is not enough to sit around wanting to be happy. You must make the effort to take steps towards happiness by acting with more love, finding work you enjoy, and all the rest. But for me, asking myself whether I was happy had been a crucial step toward cultivating my happiness more wisely through my actions. Also, only through recognizing my happiness did I really appreciate it. Happiness depends partly on external circumstances, and it also depends on how you view those circumstances. I had thought about this question many times during the course of the year, but finally it hit me that this was my fourth splendid truth. You are not happy unless you think you are happy. Then it struck me that the fourth splendid truth has a corollary. You are happy if you think you are happy. And that means thinking about happiness no matter what John Stuart Mill said.
Wow. Wow, Suman, that was beautiful. Very engaged reading.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you a lot. I'll stop the share. So we are done finally with September reading. Uh, Soon it will be October reading. So if anyone has any shares, Shruti, Mansi, Manish ji, Suman, please go ahead.
Actually, Deepa ma'am, today I just joined 10 minutes back. I overslept, so I could not
Oh,
hear
that's
the
okay. It's okay.
today's reading. But
Mm.
yes, yesterday's reading was like, following your passion and, writing the book. So I think all those things I am quite in sync and I will be incorporating those things in September. Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. Thank you. Uh, some of the things which I loved in today's reading was how the writer worked with her child in writing a book. The child is interested in drawings and painting, so she captured all that and used some technology to make it into a book by adding quotations to it. So that was very wonderful idea, thing which you can do instead of watching TV and all. So that develops the child's creativity, being inventive, and also an outlet to expression, the way we express ourselves. So that is one activity maybe all of us can do. It sounds very simple. And the next thing which I loved was the last paragraph, the last part, where Stuart Mill says that thinking about happiness makes us actually unhappy. So the writer very cleverly, in a very, with sharing her experience, she says that thinking about happiness actually makes us happy. So we want to be happy. We think about happy. We figure out various ways of being happy. So that was one very important thing. So we think happy, we want to be happy, we'll be happy, and we'll count our blessings. Counting our blessings makes us happy. And the other thing which I loved about today's reading was whatever people say about whatever we are doing, we should have that mission to accomplish whatever we are doing. Sometimes it might be like we are doing very good. Sometimes we have to give up the project. We have to start afresh. We have to start something from midway. It doesn't matter. So there are various styles of writing. She has this idea of just compiling quotations, just one liners, uh, just writing some experience, and knowingly unknowingly we compile a book, we compile a novel. She has the idea of putting all the entries in a blog into a book. So wonderful idea she has about being a writer. So a lot of takeaways here for people who are aspiring to be writers, and how to stay inspired, focused, and with various people, how we deal with, whether we be with our children or people who are being supportive or who are not being supportive. And then the first readers who are going to support our writing, definitely our inner circle, which is our family and the friends. So she always makes sure that her family is always involved, the grandparents especially are involved in all these endeavors. So that is all wonderful takeaways from today's reading. And yeah, September reading is very relaxed, a sort of slight repetition of what she had done in February, I think, following one's passion. So this is also very good. She has elaborated more on this. We should never shy away from technology. We should be, always getting on with whatever is the latest and carry on with that. Sometimes we have to pay for it, sometimes it's free, but it's a good investment of time and money. So, yeah, wonderful reading. Anyone else has anything else to share? Please go ahead.
Yeah, Deepaji, otherwise you have summed up very beautifully all the points. One line I liked, one idea that I liked was that the book she published, how the notes she used to take otherwise helped her a lot. So importance of note taking was told there. That's really true. Many times this happens that we write here and there and throw those pages or just their line, but those writings actually have worth. We may get many points if we are into book writing.
Wonderful, Suman. That's a good takeaway. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can also share about anything else which you feel connected with this book. Um yesterday we were discussing about how to be happy, the formula for happiness. So if anyone else has anything who has joined just now, you can also give your share on what happiness means to you and how what makes you happy and how do you spread happiness. So you can just talk about it. We do have time today.
Yeah, good morning all. Just want to share my experience of staying happy and like living an intentional life, but in a happy way. So what I'm doing these days is that whenever in our office meetings and in the office, whenever we discuss, so people focus too much on the past actually. Matlab, most of the decision is happening. What has happened in the past. So I immediately tell them that see what has happened is happened. You cannot change that, right? So focus on what you can do now actually, and focus what is more important for us, and that will make you more happy. Because discussing in the past is only going to give you some memories, not add to your happiness. So what I am doing currently is that I am spending when I go to office, I sit more of in my own room and just focus on doing activities which makes me more satisfied and happy. So what is happening is I am putting enough focus, like complete focus on what is important for me, and if I do that, that is going to make me happy in a professional way. So instead of chit chatting with people, spending time on phone, and focusing on the past, and focusing on what I cannot change, focusing on people, I just focus on myself. I focus on myself, like what I can do best, and where I need to improve, and how I can do it more mindfully, and at the same time being happy and satisfied with whatever I'm doing. So and when I'm doing that, I'm finding a lot of free time in my day, and I really feel that I have done everything that I wanted to do today, and still I have a lot of time that I can do more. Maybe I can do meditation, go for exercise, or read something. So what I'm saying is, if I do everything with intention and at the same time with happiness, so happiness, doing everything with the state of happy mind is, you never get out of energy. You're always very confident, and you're always in a positive mindset state, and doing anything that you are passionate about. I think with all that intention, I'm able to spend my day very mindfully, very fully focused, and I'm finding a lot of free time also in the day. So I think uh, it's all about being focused, mindful, and doing meditation. And I'm finding meditation very useful because it is helping me to control my mind in a right way, actually, not to get away with the flow of life actually, which I like in certain way they are not that is not useful to me. So I'm able to mold my mind in such a way so that it adds to my happiness and to my like getting the most of the day every day, and still I have a lot of free time. So what I've done is I have cut off my cable TV because I hardly watch that. and unnecessary spending time with people on phone or whatever it is. So I'm finding enough time for things that makes me happy, and still I have a lot of free time. So with all these things in my mind, I'm able to live a far happy, satisfied day. And I think the also author also mentions that every day is a goal to be achieved. Like how we are living every day is itself a goal, and not really focusing on too much on the outcome actually. Because sometimes when we spend too much on the outcome, we let go of the joy of day-to-day activities, day-to-day small acts of life. Yeah, goal is important, but I think finding happiness in every act of life every day is very important, because every day is a piece of your life. And if I'm not spending that in a happy way, I'm losing that part of my life. Because see, 2 days back I shared that focusing on what is needed is more satisfying than focusing on what is uh, you know um, uh, some which I want actually. Because a lot of time what we want we don't actually need actually. We need too much, too less to be happy. So if I focus on gratitude and so many things, let's say I have everything today that I can live a good life, but still you want more and you want to show to people or whatever it is. You want to prove it to yourself. Yeah, that is also okay, but the point is focus first on what you really need actually in life. That will give you more happiness, more satisfaction. And when you are happy, you can be happy to others also, because everything starts from inside, right? So if so the point is if let focusing on what is really needed, and then focus on other things. Because when you can get what you really need, right, you will be more happy, more satisfied, right? You will be more at peace with yourself. And then you will be you know then you can better focus on other areas of life, maybe writing a book, helping others, and whatever acts of other life, helping. Focus on too much on your focus more on your health, doing yoga, meditation, and all those things, because they add years to your life, right? Money cannot add years to your life, but focusing on your health, doing meditation in the morning, right? Sitting peacefully in the balcony. So I spend a lot of my self time today, these days, in the morning, in the afternoon. So I'm finding more at peace, more satisfied, and I can focus on. I'm able to focus more on what is important for me to be happy. So I just shared my experience. So I thought it might be helpful to you also. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. Yeah, we should focus on, cutting down on TV and doing meditation. Self-reflection is very important. And being constructive in our everyday activity makes us more productive. And when we are productive, when we are contributing, definitely makes us very happy. Yes. Uh, Anyone else would like to share anything? Otherwise, we can wind up for the day. So I guess we'll wind up for the day. And please, I request everyone to post something which is happening in your life, and how you're looking at things in a positive way. Certain times, there's a concept called burnt toast. I think all of you might know about it. Sometimes, no, we are late, or certain things don't happen the way they were supposed to. For example, we are late because we burned the toast, we lost the bus or the train, and we realized that missing the bus or the train was good, because at that moment, that train or bus, if we had caught, we would have met with an accident or something untoward would have happened. So, certain things not happening in our life is also a good thing. So everything need not always happen the way we want. Certain things happening in a different way is also a blessing in disguise. So that is the burnt toast theory. So stay blessed, and may all your endeavors come true, and have a wonderful, happy day. I'll catch you up, guys, for the October reading
Deepa
next.
ma'am,
Huh?
Deepa ma'am,
Yeah,
sorry to
yeah,
cut
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I need one guidance on one thing. So I started reading along with a group from August month. Okay, and I want to finish rest of the months as well. So now should I start January or what should be my approach?
No, what did you say? I didn't catch that.
Okay,
Please
so
repeat.
ma'am, I started reading the Happiness Project along with the group since
Hmm,
August.
hmm,
Okay, I
hmm,
missed
hmm,
from January to July. I haven't read. So now
hmm.
can I go back and start from January or how should I do? What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah. Actually, this book, no, any month you can start reading. From anywhere you can read. That's the beauty of it. She just says what you should be doing every month. It was written like close to 10 years back, actually. Hmm?
Okay,
Now her kids are, college going kids, I believe, right now. So you can start with January. January is all about fitness and, mental, physical fitness, building relationship and all that, and, cleaning up your messes. And she starts from there. And the initial chapters are very good, actually. So how to catch up with your friends and family, all that is there. So you can start with January also, no problem. It will be
sure,
fantastic, actually. And I
sure.
think she'll be bringing it all together in the coming months. The next 3 months, no, the final months, it'll all be coming together. So Shruti, go ahead, read it. It'll give you, some ideas and some, new ways of looking at things with your writing project. Hmm?
Sure, sure,
So please
Deepa
go
ma'am.
ahead. That's a
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
whenever
Yeah,
you, yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll wind up for the day. Hmm? Have a wonderful Wednesday. Hmm? See you all in the next reading. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
yeah, I'll just capture the notes. I thought.
I'm taking the notes for the readings, Deepa. You can just take for the shares.
Okay,
If
okay, okay. Please go ahead. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thanks. Yeah.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Mansi, are we done? Can we leave the room now?
Yeah, yeah. I have posted also. Yes, we can close. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansi. Bye. Have a great
Yeah.
day.
Thank you, Deepa. Bye bye.